Lights, camera,
Feel that groove,
learn with Umbra,
make your move,
get creative,
join the show.
make a movie, let it flow, then set 'em up, Umbra Studios.
Hi everyone.
So this is a series of videos about the multiple phases of filmmaking, starting off with probably the most important one, which is the screenplay and the script. So for this part, we brought the main people that wrote our screenplay, and Iker,
Hello.
the main writer, and I'm Francisco.
He helped a lot, I think. I have trouble with dialogue, so he kind of helped me with that because number one rule, you always have to check with other people, and that's really helpful to get out of yourself and get other people's opinions involved.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good first advice.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a bit about what we did well, what we should have done better, what we think that you can learn from the experience of people that have tried this a couple times, and yeah, so get you started on how to write your screenplay. So we're gonna start off by talking about how you can get your idea for your short story, for your screenplay. First of all, you should know that the most important thing about an idea for a short film is that you want to get something done. So something is always better than nothing, but you should also be aware that the screenplay is pretty much the heart of your short film. If you don't have a good script, anything that you may have a very good mise en scène, you can have a very good production, but the potential of your screenplay is the potential of your short film. So the idea that you should really be careful with this part, construct a good conflict, good characters, but also something short and simple. But our story wasn't invented by ourselves. We based our short film on a story that already existed.
Yes. Let me explain the story that is going on. So the short story is about a husband and a wife, and the husband thinks he is being cheated on because he finds proof of videos and photos of her wife or his wife seeing other men, and that's why he tries to find a solution to this conundrum, to this problem, and he comes up with many different solutions, which I will not get into because they're really dense, some of them, but the answer at the end is that Armando kills Berta because he comes to know that the infinity is real, and that's the situation that he's in, and that's the solution that he chooses at the end.
So when we came to this story, there were some advantages in taking the story and disadvantages. Starting off with the advantages, we had a story that we liked, and you should also look for that. Always make films that work for you, that you like. Don't make something you don't believe in. So something very important in your short film is that it is going to be about conflict, character conflict. And we came to the conclusion that the conflict was not very clear on this story. So we had to discuss a lot and think a lot about this story because there was not a clear philosophical conflict. It was not very, let's say, conventional in that sense. Because you have this, because you only realize the conflict of the story when the conflict is solved. You realize that it's about a real case of infidelity when Armando kills his wife. So we thought of maybe extending the ending a little bit because we wanted more conflict. Conflict should be always essential in your short film, and most of the short films, the biggest weakness in most of the short films is conflict.
Yes, because I've seen my share of short films, and what I find most is that it's just ramblings of that don't have any coherence or that don't have like any main conflict at its heart. Like it's just scenes that happen because they have to happen, and the end always or almost always comes unsatisfactorily. So by having a conflict and by having that conflict be at the center, not just at the end of the short film, but having like pieces of little conflict scattered throughout from the beginning to the end to create like a hook in the beginning and then a satisfactory ending. I think is essential to making a good short film.
Another good tip is that you should really worry a lot about dialogue. Your dialogue should feel real to the world of your story and to your characters.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with having really long dialogue when you have a fantasy world, for example, because if it is true to that universe that you have created or that you have based your story on, and if it's relevant to that universe, then you can get away with it. You have to really feel it, like feel the moment and adapt your dialogue to it. If they are, in this case, if they are writers, they will talk with a kind of language and a kind of vocabulary that normal people on the street or more vulgar youngster hip vocabulary wouldn't do. Conventions that only writers use, or it's just making the dialogue sound good in the context that you put it in.
Another tip that we think that you should worry about is always write something that you feel that you can take to the screen. So never write something that is impossible to do, that has very weird locations or very difficult to get. So you should write something that you can make.
Yeah.
And that is very important as well. So be realistic, and from the probably small investment that you can make on your short film, be creative. I think that those limitations force you to be creative.
Yes.
On your first stages.
I do think that variety is not limited by the constraints that you put yourself and the short film in. Like you can have a variety of locations, characters, dialogue, but you have to always keep it real, keep it simple, and like keep it doable. If it's not doable, then it shouldn't be in the script. It should be on another script that you have more time and more money for, but not this one. Like you have to be realistic and really think like, okay, in the time that I have and the money that I have and the actors that I have picked or the dialogue or the script length, you have to take those things into account and really be like meticulous in your planning and being realistic, I think is the bottom line of.
So another good tip that we thought was that you should always worry about the structure of your story. It is good if you don't know how to write your story, you're getting started, you should think of structure. The most important part of structure is the 3-act structure, which is basically the idea of beginning, conflict, or middle part, and the ending. So first present your characters, present your conflict, and then solve it and return to normality. Let's take a look at the example of our story.
Yes, so in Act 1, we introduce the characters first. They are meeting at Armando's house, they are having a dinner, and we are introducing them with dialogue and with their reactions, okay? And we are starting from the first line in the script is already talking about Armando's story. We do not waste time on expository scenes that don't. They can add stuff, but you also have to take into account the duration and if it's really like necessary to the tale that you're talking about. So Act 2, it's the developing of the conflict. They go through all the solutions that he has lined up, the different possible solutions. There is conflict between Armando and Berta because they start to kind of piece things together and really get to know how each other is feeling. And then Act 3 is the resolution of the conflict. There is a confrontation between Armando and Berta which ends in Berta getting killed by Armando, and that is like the big explosive ending to our short film that makes you realize that all of the solutions before were actually thought like in real life by Armando and were actual solutions that he had in his brain, but actually went with the most rash, violent.
So in a very quick video, these were the tips that we wanted to give you. We hope that you can make your short film with our advice. Please comment down below for suggestions for our next videos and for what you think about this one. And
Do remember, we will be uploading these kinds of tutorials on other phases of pre-production, production, and post-production. So please stay tuned to our socials on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We have them all in a link tree, so you can find them easily. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for having me, Pou. This has been great. I encourage you to keep making good scripts, good movies. Yeah, peace out.
see you guys.